Carter Krishnaiyer here from the pavilion beyond the boundary. Great post-match reports last night from Jonathan Sterling. If you have not read them, check them out at beyondthe90.net. So we have the LA Knight Riders defeating the San Francisco Unicorns and going directly to the final, MLC Final, which will be on Saturday night in Oakland. And so the homestanding Unicorns now will face the Washington Freedom, who behind centuries from both the great Steve Smith, the great Australian cricketer Steve Smith, and our own Andries Gous, who is, of course, a U.S. National team player, they get to the eliminator match against San Francisco, which will be played on Thursday. And the winner of that match will play LA in the final on Saturday in Oakland, which would be a home match, technically, for the San Francisco Unicorns. So let's hear first from Andries Gous about Washington Freedom's great victory, and then Shadley van Schalkwyk, the great U.S. bowler extraordinaire of the T20 World Cup, which was competed earlier this year. We hear from Shadley van Schalkwyk of the LA Knight Riders, but first, Andries Gous.
We have Andries Gous from Washington Freedom. I'm going to open the floor for questions.
Andries, amazing knockout there. Absolutely incredible. I'm just wondering, what were some of the conversations you were having with Steve Smith out in the middle there? And, what is it like to break a chase record?
Yeah, that was truly special. I think we just try to keep it as simple as possible. You obviously chase 14, 15 and over. There's 2 boundaries and over, and then few singles, and then you're there. So from the 7 overs onwards, we saw that we might be in with a chance, and then at 10, I think it was still 114, 14 and a half, and then we said, okay, it's very possible, and then by over 12, it was very tight for us, close for us. So yeah, very happy with that.
And your coach, Ricky Ponting, obviously set this record earlier this year. Did he have any words at the innings break to help inspire the team to chase this one down?
Yeah, I think that's a good thing about him. He keeps it very simple. He was obviously an intense guy. He's a great coach, but he puts a lot of belief in you as a player, and he wants you to go out there, be completely free, and then just express yourselves. And then obviously he just said, keep going like we're doing, and then we'll reassess with 5 overs to go, and then it was just good.
I was prepared a whole lot differently after those first innings, because MI New York came out and put the second highest score in the league ever, making it so that really you guys had to get the second or first highest score ever, and you got the first highest score. I mean, when they come out and they do what they did in their innings, they fastest 50 ever, fastest 100 ever, most a second highest sixes in an innings ever. What are you guys feeling at that break? You've got to be like, man, this is a pretty big mountain, and I mean, what are you feeling at that point?
Yeah, look, if Quinny and Nicky P start like that, they obviously they're 2 of the best players in the world. Definitely 2 of the most talented batters out there. There's not really much you can do. There's absolutely nothing you can do to stop them, especially on the small field. I actually thought we bowled pretty well from over 14 onwards, to actually, because they were well on the way to get to 300.
Yeah.
If we didn't take a lot of wickets, so credit to Ratchin as well for pulling everything back there. And then halftime, we obviously made a joke, because Ricky, our coach, was part of that 438 game in South Africa, and Jock Cullis made the comment saying they're 15 short, and he just came out and said 15 short, boys, and that just made the change room a bit relaxed, and then we just go out there, and obviously you can never go out there if you just got to go. It's actually such a simple plan. You just got to keep going and going and going. So it was quite nice in that sense that there was no tactics about it. It was just swinging from the hip and hoping you hit it.
Does that allow you to play freer when you're like, well, either we start getting some boundaries and we can't work our way in with a whole bunch of ones because that's not going to get there. So, like you said earlier, a few, two boundaries and over, and then a few, and then a few ones. Was that just kind of the thing? Hey, we're going to have to swing from the hip, and then what happens? What happens?
Yeah, I think we only said when it was 26 needed from 28 balls or 27 balls that we said, okay, now we can start planning something. But before that, it was just let's just keep swinging, and lucky for us, we just kept connecting it.
Yeah, I mean, were you guys on the first part of the bench aware how many records were falling tonight?
No, not a clue. I thought if we chase it would be pretty close to being chased down the highest score, but yeah, we're not really sure until you hear about it when the commentator says something or when you hear about it now. So.
Hey Andries, congratulations. You're the de facto numero uno T20 batsman in this country, and it's quite fitting. It's quite befitting that you claim that Everest first of being the the first domestic centurion in the league. That celebration, I must say, was quite uncharacteristic of you. You don't show emotions that often. But take us to the celebrations. What were the emotions that were going through you, and how big achievement is it for you personally to be the first domestic centurion in this league? Any comment on that?
Yeah, I always, when I realized I did what I did, I don't know, I normally don't show that emotion, but it was just like everything just went out of me. Obviously getting 96 the previous game, where I felt that I should have gotten that 100, and it was really a big goal for me to get that first 100, or I was hoping that it would be me, and obviously I threw it away a little bit a few days ago, so to get it finally today, and I think it's more the belief in myself. I made a really big decision this season that I'm really going to back myself, really believe that I can be one of the best players out there, and I think it's more just the emotion coming out of that, of all that belief that I have in myself now, and the trust that you are good enough to perform and play innings like that.
When you see them dropping the balls out there like that, does that give you guys momentum? Like, what's your thought process when you see so many balls that should be caught, but they're not?
Yeah, I mean, drop catches, this is actually quite a difficult place to catch. I think there's a lot of drop catches that happens in this. I don't know if it's the wind that swirls a little bit here or what, but it was, to be honest, normally it would give you a lot of confidence, a lot of hope, and say, yeah, just keep going. But, I mean, chasing such a big total is... The next guy coming in just got to try and do the same. But yeah, it was nice that Smudge got away a little bit. He was lucky in that sense, and he kept me calm, and he did his part so well as well. So it was a really good partnership from us to go. And then obviously you got to take when you get those chances, especially with him being the world-class batter that he is. You can't definitely not drop him twice. He's going to make you pay. So. Very happy for him as well.
And lastly for me, if someone told you before this match that you guys, these two teams would have the two high scoring totals from this entire league today, would you have believed that?
No, I don't. Obviously, if you before the game saying someone's going to get 260 and the next team is going to get it, I think that doesn't really happen. If it's 200 or 220, that can be chased, but 260, it's a 1% chance of you actually making that. So. Yeah, that just makes it more special. But yeah, I wouldn't have believed you if you asked me that before the time.
Yeah, Andries, congratulations, man, on the 100. Nabil here from MVPZ and TRS. So 52 sixes on the night, 300s, and one performance that stands out in the bowling department from Washington Freedom, Rachin Ravindra, 4 for 29, taking 4 wickets. Some thoughts on that, man?
Rachin he's been the golden boy when taking wickets for us. I don't know actually what his average is, but it must be very low bowling for Washington Freedom. He takes a lot of wickets in crucial times for us, and he's obviously a very valuable player for us. And I'm just happy that tonight was his night again. He seems to be getting away with a lot, and yeah, it's once he gets going on that wicket, it always looks like he just keeps getting wickets. So I'm just always happy for him.
Andries, Peter Delapen with Dream Cricket. Just one question and a follow-up. The 2024 T20 World Cup match against Canada, you were 48 for 2, and then you and Aaron Jones put on that epic partnership to get USA to victory in that game. Did that match experience help you in this situation tonight at all? And did you have that enter your mind at all in terms of being up against it in that situation where you needed to score 150 off 12 overs compared to what you experienced tonight on the field?
Yeah, definitely. I think it subconsciously it's there. Just like me and Ratchin had a 150 or whatever partnership the previous game as well. So there's always that belief that once you're in, I think MLC have shown over the years now that if there's an in batter, 90% of the time the game you won the game. So that's just always the crucial part for us to make sure that there was a in batter. I think Ricky always says that you can't be a hero walking out on the field. You can only be a hero walking off. So that is obviously the way we want to play our cricket is making sure that you don't leave it for the next guy. You want to do it yourself. But you're right. Getting what we did against Canada 2 years ago was truly special, and it's always nice to go back into those emotions, knowing that actually it can be done, even on a smaller field. So knowing that it's always possible is good.
And then just the World Cup you had this year, underwhelming. I'm sure you were disappointed in it, and then being left out of subsequent USA tours. Has that served as any sort of motivation for you coming into MLC this year?
Look, yeah, I don't know really where I stand with USA cricket at the moment, but that is what it is. I think I'm very motivated to try and prove myself in the world of T20 cricket. I think I've shown very good glimpses of what I'm capable of and what I can do. And then if USA wants to pick me, they can pick me. If not, then that's also okay. I'm very much at peace of where I am in my life. So yeah.
Last question, Arjun.
Yeah, so now Oakland Coliseum has probably become a very special place for you because you hit your 100 here. Could you sort of walk us through what it's like batting at the historic Coliseum compared to something like Grand Prairie or the Pomona?
Yeah, I think it's just the history that this ground has. Like everybody watch Moneyball, right? So it's just the history that it has. It's very cool. Sometimes frustrating because of there's only 2 wickets. So once you're on the side, you hit the grass. It just goes nowhere. But yeah, I think just the history of it is quite special. But for me, Grand Prairie would always be my favorite. I think if you ask any batter, they would probably say that's one of the best wickets in the world. Especially at night, so I would not change that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Yes, Shadley from LA Knight Riders. Whoever wants to go for your questions, feel free.
All right, so the last two the death overs in the first innings, man, you needed those. It looks like at the end, and you know, seeing exactly what Finn Allen and Pretorius can do. They had a 2-wicket performance against Washington when they were here earlier in the season, where they finished them off in 15 overs. Seeing them go down in that first innings, how much were you guys looking around and going, okay, at least it's not those guys that are going to beat us today? And what were you talking about going forward, saying, okay, now we got to, what do we have to do with our game to finish this out?
I think that's a great question, firstly. I think it's 2 extremely big plays. I don't think just in this competition, I think in the world. So when the likes of Sonny comes in and he bowls and he does what he does, which is special, I think he's the best bowler to ever played this T20 game. And with the experience that he brings and just the confidence we have when he steps on the field, you know, it's either going to be wickets or he's going to bowl extremely well, which is nice. With the breakthrough, I think it gave us a lot of confidence, especially the 2 power players at the top. It's credit to Sonny. I think he brought a lot of experience in. Jace also bowled well. I think collectively everyone did well as the wicket actually got a little bit better as we went along, yes. But it just stems and it says that experience at 2 wickets does make you, I don't want to say relax a little bit, but breathe a little bit easier. I don't think you ever relax in a T20 game. I think Matthew Short and Sanjay batted beautifully also, kept him in the game, kept him above the game a lot of the time, and then we fought back nicely in the end. I think the game ebbed and flowed brilliantly, which I think is good for the crowd.
And you know, and are you guys, the last time that Pretorius did a Golden Duck, that was when he and Allen went off for 100 in the power play. Are you glad you don't have to face them tomorrow, knowing they're probably both going to be a little angry and a little ready to prove that today was just a miss?
I don't think so. I think we always want to play against the best. And if they're batting as well as they are, you want to test your skills against the best. And whether we have to play them tomorrow, it would be brilliant. But we always want to test our skills against the best, yes.
Shadley, you've been a part of this LA Knight Riders team for quite a long time. Obviously, the results haven't always been there. How does it feel, especially after last year, to be here in the final?
Oh, exciting. Very exciting. I think it's new territory for us. I think we giggle about it a little bit and sort of have a lot of jokes about it, but it is new territory. But I think the boys have worked incredibly hard behind the scenes. We see the results on TV and things like that, but just coming together as a squad, as a Knight Riders family, I think has helped us. But the feelings, I probably need to think about it a bit more. I haven't yet, but it's unbelievable, yes.
Yeah.
Marco Ikolovich, Bay Area Sports Rep. What does this win mean for this team to get into the final and not have to play an extra game? And is this maybe a little bit more special because you did beat San Francisco today in their kind of home turf?
It's definitely, without a doubt. I think it's been a tough schedule. I think we an experienced side, if I can say that nicely. A lot of the guys are over the age of 30, 35, and sort of the rest day does do us well. That's myself included. So I do think that helps us a bit. But if we did have to go tomorrow again, I think we'd be up for it.
And can you take some momentum of this win, the way you guys were able to strike in that last over and just fully pull out a big win and carry this over into the final?
I definitely think so. The last few games has given us some nice momentum. And it's been brilliant that every time someone stepped up and taken the game along. I think Rob played a knock that brought the game in our favour. Once again, towards the end of our innings, a lot of momentum. Dre batted well for his 60th. It's not probably the usual Dre that you see, but it's the Dre that we needed today. And it just shows that he stepped up for the team, and it was brilliant.
Thank you.
Shadley, Peter Delapena with Dream Cricket. Coming off the World Cup, you had the back-to-back fourfers against India and Pakistan. You were the USA's best performer in the World Cup, and yet you were left out of the USA central contract list. To what extent did that motivate you in terms of your performances this year, whether it's throughout the course of the season or in a moment like this where you've got an opportunity to shine on a big stage, in terms of fueling your motivation in the wake of that snub?
I think it's a great question, firstly. I've always been motivated. I think, to be fair, my younger days, I think I learned a great lesson at 20 years old when I lost my first contract. I've never played for a contract. The contract has always been the bonus at the end, if I'm honest, but I've always been a motivated individual. Does it light a little bit more of a fire? I definitely think so, yes. But it doesn't give me the extra motivation. I've always been motivated, but I mean, I've loved the fact that this is professional cricket. This happens, unfortunately. And the way they see it is the way they see it. I just put my head down, stay in my lane, and hopefully the results speak for itself and can keep going for that and win some more games for the team.
Hey, Shadley, Anirudh Sengupta from the Square Drive podcast. Firstly, congrats on the win and the great performance today. What was the mentality when you were going into bowl that death over, seeing Short and Krishnamurthy and being able to break that partnership?
I think for me, I've got two checkpoints. When I'm bowling at the death, and it's just get my hips in the right line to the line I want to bowl, and try execute the ball you want to bowl. That's the only two things I think about: what the batter does, or whether I take the wicket or not. Some days it goes one way, some days it doesn't. But there's just genuinely two checkpoints that I hold on to that makes the thinking a little bit more simple and not result focused. I think those two, if I line my hips nicely, and I get to execute my ball, the rest is what it is.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, please. Yeah, sure. We'll do the last two. Yeah.
Just wondering a little bit about the difference between the pitches. Of course, the home pitch in Pomona, and we saw a lot more back of the length deliveries. Here in Oakland, we saw a lot more fuller pitch deliveries. What is it about the conditions here that lead to these fuller? We saw it from both teams. Lead to these fuller lengths from both teams.
I think today the wicket got better as it went along. So the normal back of the length where they bowled quite well, I thought, didn't work in our second innings. I think we have sort of a B and C plan that we go to if the wicket does end up getting a little bit better. Where do we go? What do we do? What's the plans to get batters off strike? How do we build pressure? So just being able to think about those things and assess the wicket as quick as we can, I think that helped us. And then as soon as we assess the wicket, we go, okay, that's our plan. We go to the Yorkers, take it away from the batter's hitting zone, and let's see what happens.
Completely forgot about this. So you guys finally got to play the place that's on the crest. What was that like? And knowing that there's a lot of guys in this league that are hoping to play in that Olympic tournament in 2 years, how much motivation were people kind of feeling to perform on that, knowing that that's where everybody's aiming to be in 2028?
I think the motivation is, I think that's the biggest part of a sportsman. If you think of anyone that once say where they want to play the game, they'd say the Olympics. I think this motivates it. Me coaching myself also back in Seattle, I think it shows a small pathway for the kids I coach. I also want them to select a side that's, whether it's 19-year-olds that are the best in the country, it should be the best in the country. Whether I qualify at that time and I'm able to play, it would be great. My job is also to coach guys, and hopefully, sort of, it's a catch-22. Hopefully they take my place and I shake their hand and say, well done, enjoy it. But at the same time, motivated to show them and say that it's a tough road, but it's not impossible. So to give them the motivation and sort of eyes on the major league competition to say that, oh, it's a lot closer than what guys think. That's the beauty of the game. And whichever the 15 that go to the Olympics, I know it'll be USA's best side.
And I guess just a quick follow-up to that, when you're kind of looking at this and, finally having cricket back in there, how does it make you as a cricketer and the rest of the guys in the league and everybody around the world feel that the second most popular sport in the world is now finding its rightful place back in the competition?
Great question. I think it's something, if you had to sum up, it's just a dream for every cricketer. I think people dream of playing in World Cups, they dream of playing in Major League, Minor League, for USA on the best stage in the world and perform at the best stages. But I think it makes the dream a reality, which is quite nice. And once that dream that you have as a kid playing in your backyard, sort of, you start realizing, oh, I could genuinely actually play at the highest level that there's ever been. I think that just burns a little fire in your belly, and you get going, and it creates some excitement for everyone, whether it's from the guys from under 15 right through to the guys like myself who's 37 right now. It creates such a lot of motivation for us to try to do well and give ourselves the best chance.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
See you all in the